What is happening? What's happening? SteelerNation, SteelerNation. I don't know why I got them headphones on. I had the headphones on, just making sure I could hear music in the background, making sure Blog Talk Radio was working. It is, and look, big dummy, had them on when I opened the camera. My bad. But what's happening, folks? How are y'all doing? How's everybody doing on this lovely evening, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time? Even though I'm running a little bit late tonight, I apologize for that. But I am here. Another great episode, I predict. We'll talk a little bit, then I'll get to the phone calls. That's how I want to do tonight's show. And actually, let me not forget to put the information on the screen. Again, me procrastinating. I still haven't fixed this banner the way I want it, but I'm going to say by the next time you see it, I will fix it. Just going to remove that terrible towel and such because it doesn't necessarily go with what I'm trying to do anymore. But that's the phone number, man, 619-924-0818. Again, 619-924-0818. So far, it appears to be working. So hopefully, we can hear from SteelerNation tonight. But all right, man, y'all know the routine. I'm going to say hello to the early commenters. We'll do that. I'll go over a few little topics that I have. I'm sure you guys see my main topic in the title. And then I'm going to get to the phone calls quick. And that's what we're going to do. All right. Miss Destiny. What's happening, Destiny? It's good to see you early, as well as Susie, as well as Lanisha. Look at that, man. 3 of our lovely lady listeners, man, early in the chat. Hello, ladies. Hope you all are having a wonderful evening. Fellas, make sure you lay out the red carpet. Take care of the ladies here in the chat. Real Facts, Lamontez Fleming. I already said it. Susie, as well as Lanisha. Daredevil, Dietrich Bundick, Joshua Shields, Steelberg, 412, Born and Raised, Kyle Smith. Who else is up in here? Vista Light in the building. Who else? Chris Osu. He said, Kenny is booty cheeks. Check the all 22 if you think I'm lying. Yeah, man, I saw maybe a quarter worth for the all 22 so far. I don't really get a chance to dive into that until Wednesdays, just because of my schedule. But yeah, I'm going to talk about it, man, because I did rewatch the game, even though haven't got a chance to dissect the 22 yet. And let me just say this as well. And I'm not saying this to Chris, but some of you folks, make sure you watch yourself and don't just take the opinion of others, because I know a good amount of people do that. And that's just crazy. Don't speak on something that you don't know or you haven't seen yourself. So again, I'm not saying that about you, Chris. I'm just making a general statement because I see that happen a lot. People do that with the media. They hear what one pundit says and then that's their opinion. I'm like, come on, where they do that at? Lee Sharp, Mr. Malvo, Nathan Manco, my good brother Kenyon in the building, Tyrone Johnson. Who else? Leonard Langley in the building. Father-in-law Langley in the building. My man Y Diggy in the building. Cutboy 412 in the building. Kev So Nice. Steelers Freak. Leon Harris Jr. Elisa Shepard. Hello, Elisa. Again, in today's climate, I try to steer away from guessing. So I'm just gonna say, if you are a lady listener as well, I think I've seen your name before. Hello to you also. And all of our lovely ladies that listen in. Ozzy Tanks, Verducci, man, what's up, man? What's up, brother? I haven't seen you in a while, I don't think. Has H, David Jones Jr., and Steelers cards, and Gavin Carr as well, and Leonard Green just popped up, and Brett Fox just popped up. Armand Bozeman, Mark Cunningham. And there you have it. We're going to end it right there. Let's get into it, man. I'm gonna jump right in, man. I'm gonna jump right in so I can get out of here, and not spend so much time on these shows. I know you guys love it, but strategically, I can't have them so long all the time. And trust me when I say that. Let's talk a little bit about injuries, man. Injury report. We pretty much already know about Quan Alexander. Man, that is going to be quite a loss, since we already know as well about Cole Holcomb. So these guys are pretty much done for the season. I know Mike Tomlin said, they'll wait until the rest of the week to see what they're actually going to do with Quan. But after the game, I mentioned it as well. He said it was a serious lower body injury, and now reports are that it's an Achilles. So if that is the case, and maybe that information is already out there. I just going off of what I heard earlier, then that sucks. Mike Tomlin was asked about that today as far as what they're going to do. And he basically, said, even before being asked, he said, listen, we're not going to look outside the organization. They feel like they have people on the practice squad. They mentioned Michael Walker, I think his name is, played in Atlanta, I want to say last season. He's on the practice squad. Tomlin went on to say that a lot of these people are on the practice squad, not because of them needing development. It's more so us being more ready, having more depth. And he was kind of talking about the new rules of the practice squad. This is the reason why you acquire certain people and put them on your squad to be more prepared. So he made a distinction of saying, don't get it twisted. Not all of these people are there for development reasons, meaning some of these guys are just waiting for an opportunity. I don't know much about him. I saw one of the Steelers tweeters posted earlier. They posted some things about Michael Walker. I don't know much about him at all, man. Okay, why Diggy says they put Quan on IR. Okay, so there you have it. Yeah, I don't know much about him. Maybe I'll have to watch a little bit and see. But at the end of the day, what else are they going to do? And this is a prime example of what I try to say to us as fans a lot. A lot of times fans, guys, Steelers fans, SteelerNation, a lot of times you always are asking yourself, well, why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? Anytime, I say this all the time, anytime there's a trade, why didn't the Steelers get this guy? Anytime it's a free agent, why didn't the Steelers get this guy? Anytime somebody gets hurt, why don't they go find somebody? Anytime you're not happy with the current player in position, why don't they go find somebody else? Why don't they sit that guy on the bench? Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not that easy. And I think what Tomlin did is clearly he let us know, indirectly or directly, if you caught it. He basically said there's nobody else on the street. We're going to roll with who we got in here. We feel like these people are capable. So that should let you know if there's somebody else that's better than a Mark Robinson or Michael Walker or whoever else they might try. The idea has been thrown out there since he's played linebacker a little bit on a few teams in the past. The idea has been, put number 31 in that spot. Whatever it is they're going to do, Tomlin clearly said, we're going to handle it in-house. So that should be your answer for those of you that are saying, why don't they go pick up this guy, pick up that guy? Well, clearly they don't think there's anybody else out there. And whether they're right or wrong, who knows? But I'm just saying, sometimes I just have to listen to what the organization is doing and not question everything because I'm not in that business every day watching these players, being around these players. You got to, at some point, trust the organization and trust the coaching staff, even when you disagree with them. This is what they do for a living. So we'll have to see what Michael Walker, what he's going to do, or however else they're going to compliment it. But all I can say is it's a problem. It was a problem coming into the season. Remember when we weren't sure about those three guys? And they turned out to be all right. It turned out to be the best they can be. None of them, are great in terms of pass coverage. But, again, it's not a whole lot of linebackers in the league that, you would put your money on. Those are special inside backers that can cover. Special guys. Your Fred Warners of the world. And again, I always like to go back to this guy because this guy was one of the best at it. Your Luke Kuechly's of the world. Ryan Shaziers of the world. These guys are special. You don't get guys like that every day. They don't grow on trees. But I think the complement of the three backers that we had, I think they were doing well, man. I think Cole Holcomb was really starting to find his footing in that last game that he played in a significant amount of time, man. He had a lot of tackles. It's unfortunate because it's the time of the year where the run game is amping up. Everybody wants to run it, and the teams that can run it are going to run it. And we already are leaking a little bit with giving up explosive runs. So I am concerned. So I went on a tangent right there. My bad, y'all. But we'll have to see, man. I don't know Don't know much about this kid, man. So hopefully whoever they get in there, hopefully it's not much of a drop off. Hey, maybe we get lucky and one of these guys play well. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But that is a tough situation, man. That's probably the key injury to talk about. Of course, we know that Adams is also still dealing with something. Mike Tomlin did say Pat Freiermuth is looking like he'll be ready to go. So, of course, they're going to see how his week turns out. And, boy, do we desperately need that. The question is, what we need out of Pat Freiermuth, I'm just wondering, is it going to happen? So I'm going to talk about that here in a moment, too. But we need something else other than what we're trying to continue to do outside the numbers. We need to be able to get more things going in the middle. And I think if you put a tight end threat out there, it opens up a lot. It even opens up other guys in the middle when they have to account for guys like Freiermuth, because nobody seems to be caring about Darnell Washington. Nobody seems to really be caring about even Connor Haywood in the seams when we actually putting him there. Even though there was a play for you all 22 watchers and for you guys who will see it here on the channel, there was a play, I want to say, on the first drive where, boy, we had Connor Haywood in the flat. Boy, we had him. And I think it was the play where he took the deep shot to Deontay. Of course, you see one-on-one there, and I'm going to talk about it in a moment because I'm going to talk a little bit about that when I get into Kenny. You're going to take that deep shot. You got Deontay one-on-one with a single safety in the middle, but, man, boy, Connor Haywood was butt naked open, bro. It seemed like the defenders ran into each other or something, and Connor Haywood really is open off the line because of the way he's going at, I think it was number 58 for the Packers. He's open. You could tell if he's running any type of outbreaking route, he's going to be open, and it just made it that much sweeter when he got in line with him and kind of just... But anyway, nobody seems to be concerned with Haywood and or Darnell Washington, and we're not really using Darnell Washington in that capacity. So I think at least having Pat back in the fold, hopefully they start utilizing that some. But yeah, Pat Freiermuth, of course, he did say Minkah Fitzpatrick is still working to get back. I think number 33 has somewhat of a rib situation. And I think that's all I remember as far as who we're waiting to get back. I think that was it. I could be missing somebody, but yeah, man, the Steelers are going through some challenges right now with injury because it's in spots that we couldn't afford. Arguably you could say the inside linebacker position was one of those positions that you questioned. They started playing well now. The biggest question mark is really like safety play and, cornerbacks not named Joey Porter Jr., even though, put some respect on Pat Pete, he played a solid game in that game. But again, I told you guys, whatever we get from Pat Pete is a bonus. Patrick Peterson is 33. Let me continue to say that. That's not old in the world, but it's old in terms of playing lockdown corner against these young studs. These boys in their early 20s, rookies and such, that's ready to run and can move like gazelles. That's hard. We've seen it already this season where dudes is blowing past Patrick Peterson. But again, this is a eventual Hall of Famer we're talking about. This dude has had an outstanding career. So I don't put such lofty expectations on him at age 33. Again, I've said this for several shows. He came out and said in the beginning, I can't run the way I used to. And we're kind of Swiss Army knifing him right now, utilizing him at safety and at nickel and on the outside. So kudos to Pat Pete for doing what he's doing and made what I would again call the play of the game. Yeah. But anyway, that was just my little soapbox there. What else do I got here? I'm going to talk about Kenny. Just a quick recap of the game after rewatching it, man. I kind of still feel the same. It's funny. Sometimes the knee-jerk reaction won't be much different than what I have on Tuesday nights. Usually the only time I have even more detailed thoughts about the game is when I'm watching the All-22. And again, you guys who are channel members, get to experience that with me, and I really can break down some things. But this one kind of played out to where what I thought after the game on Sunday is what I still think after rewatching it. Steelers, man, the offensive line came to life again early in that game, and they were significant. They were significant. What I don't understand, man, is I don't always understand Matt Canada's philosophy at times. I love how he started the game. And listen, guys, I'm not saying this just because of the results. No, I'm looking at formation, play design, route combination, personnel, all of the above. Those are the things that I look at to decide if a play caller called a good game. You can call a great game and not get many yards. You could be playing a great opposing defense. So I'm not one of those result biased guys. What I will say, sometimes when there's good results, you do see a complement, a mix of plays that can have you diagnose and say, whoa, that's different. Ooh, great time to call that. Oh man, that was clean how you. So sometimes the results can aid in how you feel, but you shouldn't make your decision based on whether it worked or didn't work. Again, that's that highlight. That's the highlight watching mentality. So when you hear me compliment Matt Canada, you know I'm being genuine about it because we still have not scored. Folks, we have not scored. Have we scored 24 points? In the 3 games that I said Matt Canada called a good game, 1 we lost. And we scored, 9 points against Jacksonville. Called one of his better games against Tennessee. What we put up, 20? Called a good game for at least in the first half, and maybe sprinkled a few of them in there in the second half. In this game, and what was it, 23 points? So I'm not saying that there was a nice called game because we blew the doors off the. No, the offense still sputters, but I could see moments where that was a nice call, nice formation, good utilization of personnel right there. Ooh, that was tricky, guys. It was a play. I don't know if you guys remember it. First drive when we were on about the 16-yard line. Remember they ran that little quick out pass to Jaylen Warren. But as I looked at it, I did see that on the all-22. I said, wait a minute. Was that a screen? And the reason why I had to question it is because Seumalo was the only one who released. It was a one lineman release screen. And I was like, whoa. And again, just to double check my eyes, I'll reach out to people that I respect. I sent a quick tweet to Alex Kozor and Dave. I said, hey, I need a second opinion. Am I seeing this correctly? Does this look like a screen to you with one offensive lineman? Alex wrote me back, was like, yeah, you're right, it's a screen. But to me, that's kind of creative. Now, I'll be the first to say maybe we've run that before and I didn't pay attention to it. But that's kind of creative because it looked like regular pass protection, and then you leak out Seumalo. He's coming from his left guard position to get out in front, and he almost got there, but he didn't quite get there to make a clean block. But I was like, oh, that's different. I appreciated that. It was cool. It was a cool moment. And again, all 22 folks, y'all are going to see it. People like Destiny, y'all are going to see it because I'm going to show that. I was like, oh, okay, Matt Canada, I see you trying to get fly with it. And that's all I be trying to say, guys. Again, that might not even be such a genius play call. Maybe it's other people who run that same type of screen, but we don't see it happen for us. So when I see him do stuff like that, I'm like, oh, okay. I see you trying to get creative. I see you trying to do different things, give them different looks, give them one look, but do something else. That's, to me, is what I like to consider good play calling. Whether it works or not, I want to see the design of the play. That was dope. That was cool. That was a cool one. And you got some of y'all are going to see that. But anyway, I just don't understand what happens to him at some points in the game. Second half, he went back to his traditional, let's go heavy, 12 personnel or such, or line up the tight end as an H-back or whatever, and we're going to go jumbo, and we're going to run Najee left, one Najee right. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Going to the traditional zone block. It's like, why does he fall back in love to the quote unquote normal script when the other type of run plays are working? The other plays where you have the blocking scheme a little different. When you were just doing straight up blocking, or when we're doing combo and duo blocks, or when we're pulling guys, that's working. But for some reason, you want to go back to your traditional out of the single back jumbo set, it looks like. And we're going to try to do the little, sometimes we do the split zone where we bring the tight end across the formation. Sometimes we bring in guys like Allen Robinson across the formation to block backside. And I'm like, Matt Canada, that ain't working because they got 30 people in the box. Excuse me. And it's funny because if you listen to Kenny's presser, even Kenny says something like that. Like one of the reporters was like, how come sometimes, it seemed like seemingly when they had the box full, you guys would still run at it. This is in his own head. He's just gonna run right into the 8-9 man box just because. Now I will say there was a time or two in the fourth or third that Najee still popped one loose. Still got about 12 yards, but most of the time when the run game was stifled a little bit in the second half, it looked like it was because of those type of his generic runs again. And for one, I feel like we should always spread it out and run from that. Try to get that box in your favor, or at least more power and pulls and things like that. Man, look at the double pull that Green Bay ran against us when Dillon had that 40-yarder. Beautifully blocked. Even though my man Mark Robinson tried to go plug the hole, you heard the impact, and Dillon was off to the races. So I can't wait to continue to watch the 22, man, where I can really see if what I think I saw was correct, and it was more of those plays that we were kind of getting stifled in the third quarter. And I'm like, why are we going back into that normal lineup and run conservative junk? Why don't we ever hit again, guys? I'm sorry for going off on my soapbox, man, but why don't we ever put our foot on somebody's neck? Even when we got something going, it seemed like the Steelers, for the last few years now, the offensive coordinator will never continue to do what works. They always want to go back to something, especially when we got a lead going into the half. Now they want to be conservative and, we're just going to line up like this and hand it off. No, run that same offense you was running earlier. Yes, Green Bay did adjust. And I'm sure they put out different fronts. Again, teams are going to adjust, but still, the way you're blocking things up and such, or running against a heavy box, I don't get it, man. I don't, but that's just me. But again, listen, I am not an NFL coach. I'm sure there's way more to it than what I'm alluding to. I'm sure it is. And I'm a big enough man to admit that. Some of this stuff, even though I do know football, some of this stuff, I will never know the idea of why they did that because I'm not there. I'm just going off eye test. So I'm not sitting here claiming to have all the answers. I don't do that. But all right, man, let me get to the other part so I can quickly get to these phone calls. Let's see. So, and I did write that as a note to tell you guys about that screenplay, and it was even out of shotgun. Man, that was an interesting play. I really enjoyed it, even though it didn't go for big yards, but I thought it was a nice play to run, especially at that spot of the field. Man, I was like, okay, Matt Canada, I see you. Okay, I see you right there. Like I said, I don't know what it is, but it seems like the offense is clicking a little better with this dude on the sideline 2 weeks in a row. I don't know if that is really something to that. It just appears to be that way. So we'll see. So let's talk about Kenny Pickett, man. I'm going to try to be as brief as I can real quick. Man, listen. I'm going to repeat what I said on Sunday, because I know some of you guys don't always watch the post game. Some of y'all only come to Tuesday or what have you. Some of you are new. Welcome. But I feel like I do have to repeat myself sometimes because, again, I'm not going to be one of those podcasters that feel like you should have heard what I said in the past. I have to always assume that there's people watching that's never watched before. So maybe you're not aware of hold on, guys. Give me a second. Okay, it was saying somebody had left my garage door up, but they closed it now. I can't assume that you've seen every show, and I have to always assume there's new viewers. So there's certain things I will repeat. Maybe I won't go as in full detail, but I will at least repeat at the surface level. Here's the thing, because some people, there's a misconception. Anytime you say anything regarding Kenny Pickett, that's anything outside of they need to bench him, they need to cut him, they need to sit him down. If you're not saying those things, if you say anything outside of that, there's people that feels like that you're making excuses for him. You are stupid. You can't see the light. All of this nonsense, right? So here's my perspective on why I approach Kenny Pickett the way I do. It is my belief that the Pittsburgh Steelers will give Kenny Pickett the rest of the season. That is a guarantee. It is also my belief that Kenny Pickett also will have 2024 to prove whether he is a quarterback for the Steelers or not. He's a first-round pick. I think at the very best, they give him 3 years, 3 seasons. And if he doesn't show promise to the Steelers by the end of next season, then they make a decision, meaning then they may look for the quarterback of the future while still having Kenny Pickett on, under his rookie contract. Then they decide not to give 5th-year option, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't think any of that is going to change until then. So I just choose not to waste my time saying what they should do, knowing they ain't going to do. So that's my position. So as a fan, somebody who really cares about this team improving, however that may be, I'm going to root for him to do well. I'm going to look at him and take him at what my eye test tells me from everything I've seen from him, from a rookie to now, the good moments, the bad moments, and assess, do I think he can improve here or there, etc. And that's how I approach it. I'm trying to give him time. I'm trying. And I've said this for a few weeks now, but Kenny is going to have to give me something in return, because Kenny is not making it easy for me to be patient. Because the more and more you watch the All 22, there's some things that I really question. Here's one of them. Y'all have heard me ask this before, but again, I got to ask it again. I really want to know Kenny's need or his urge to lock in pre-snap. I really want to know, is it strictly play design? And that's what you're being asked to do? Or is it him? Meaning he's just choosing to not take an extra split second and scan the field. Because there are moments, I just told y'all about one. Bruh, again, I understand taking the shot to Deontay Johnson. But dog, Kenny does this. He goes, hut. And he continues to look this way. Basically, what he's doing is looking off the safety. He's looking in the middle of the field. From my view, from looking at it from the all 22 end zone view, with the Steelers offense coming right at me, he should have been able to see Connor Haywood right there. And what I'm saying is, even though if you know you're going over there, and let me just qualify this statement, right? Or dequalify my statement. I have never played quarterback in the NFL. Never played quarterback other than backyard football. So I don't know if what I'm about to say is realistic or not. I'll let you guys tell me. I feel like the good quarterbacks, not even just great, but good quarterbacks, know that they're going to look off the safety. So they know they looking here. They know they got this man. You notice I'm not looking over there, right? I know I got him one-on-one because I noticed that when I came to the line. And I'm like, all right, safety. I got single man over here, or at least, single high safety. So I know I got opportunities either way. Whether it's cover 3 or not, I got opportunities. Or if it's cover 1, I got opportunities because I know there's only one safety that's going to be deep. And of course, I have to look to see if the other safety rotates. So what I want to do is at Hut, I want to glance and keep this dude in the middle of the field if I know I'm going to my dog over here. But I think the good quarterbacks can also scan and see what else is happening in a split second. Meaning, if I'm already looking here, I also should look at my other matchups, especially if I'm expecting it to be man. Is anybody else open? Maybe I don't get all the way over to George, but I should be able to get to Connor Haywood, who's right here. And you should be able to see how that defense is already starting to play him, knowing the route. He's open. Trust me when I tell y'all this. Extended family members, y'all gonna see it when I show it to you. Connor Haywood is open in like a second, meaning you already see how this dude is playing them. You see the defense collapsing on each other, and Connor, corner route. That might be one of these. So he looks off the safety. He's coming here, and then he goes, boom, takes the deep shot. Not mad at that. But I'm just trying to prove a point that maybe that one is a little harder, but there are multiple times that I'm seeing Kenny Pickett seems like he's only looking where he's going. It's almost like Kenny has to see the throw. He has to see the route open. And I'm here to tell you that that's not going to work in the NFL. It ain't going to work for long. It's not. That's concerning. Not even the ball that he forced to Deontay Johnson that homeboy picked off and couldn't get his foot in. Think about the one that he was throwing to Warren that almost got picked off. He never came off of Warren. Never. Even Charles Davis said it. Yeah, I think Kenny Pickett he had his mind set. Bruh. That's why I called you into the office, Kenny. Kenneth, you can't do that. And folks, I'm starting to see this on a more regular basis. Now, some of you that may have seen that earlier than that, or for more time than that, kudos to you. Because I know it's going to be some of y'all in the chat. I already know without even looking over there. See, I told you. And then, everybody always want to be right. But like I said, I don't make hasty decisions. I analyze. And after looking at the film, not just in game, really looking at play design, who was open, how the routes broke, I'm starting to see a pattern with him, man, that it's like, yo, Kenny. And here's the reason why it's problematic for me. I've seen him play better. I'm going to keep saying that. Maybe some of y'all agree. Maybe some of y'all don't. I have seen him. We have seen him play better. It is almost like he's regressed. What is that about? I remember specifically me praising 2 or 3 times last season where he threw with anticipation. Y'all remember that pass to Freiermuth? I think it was in preseason. As a rookie, and he threw Freiermuth open down the seam for one of these. Remember? I talked about it on the show, and y'all saw it. I was like, yo, he threw the ball before Freiermuth even turned around. Where is that? Where's that guy? Now, is it because he was throwing interceptions last year that he got a little gun shy? Because now, they keep praising the fact that, he has to turn the ball over. Well, let me tell you something. It ain't because he didn't try to. It ain't because he didn't try to turn the ball over. I count about 4 or 5 interceptions he should have had in the last 3 weeks. Kenny, man, come on. It's concerning. I'm just letting y'all know it's on my radar. Now I will finish with this because I'm consistent with mine. I don't flip flop. What I do is I take my time. I have my decision when I'm ready to decide, not when you're ready, not when this guy's ready, not when Stephen A is ready. No, it's when I have decided, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with wearing that. If I was the only one supporting one thing, I'm cool with that. I don't have to be with the in crowd. So I'll finish with this and say, listen, I do think Kenny Pickett can be a better quarterback. I do, because I've seen him play better than he's playing now. What I don't know is if he will. That is what I need him to answer for me. So just so y'all know, so y'all are clear, y'all know where I stand with Kenny. It's not that I don't think he can be something. It's just I don't know if he will. Because one thing I do know about him, he don't have the strongest arm, but I think he has an arm good enough to win. He's definitely not the strongest arm guy. He might not be super accurate, but is he accurate enough to win? Yeah, I've seen him do it. We've seen him do it this year. We just seen him do it with Deontay Johnson against the Titans. The throw he threw to Calvin Austin for the big touchdown. I forget which game that was. It might have been the Cleveland game. The throw that he threw to George Pickens against the Ravens, like, he's done it. So that's why I'm still like, dog, I think you got it. Maybe not it. Maybe not franchise 10-year guy. But I think can be a decent quarterback. And you could win with him. But he's scaring me. Because it seems like he's gone backwards in some regards. That's scary. But I love his toughness, man. I do. I like the dude's toughness. I like his will to win in terms of he's going to do what he has to do. I like now that he's finally, starting to be a little more shifty in the pocket and kind of hanging there more. He's not bailing immediately anymore. It doesn't appear to be. I like that. But Kenny, dog, again, your biggest problem right now is, I swear, you just ain't. Some of these routes, man, some of these dudes are wide open if you just come back. He's not seeing it. And I know all quarterbacks are never going to see everything. It's impossible. Ben used to miss too. I've seen Pat Mahomes missed dudes that was open over here, but he was over. It happens. It's not always perfect, but it's happening too often with Kenny. And we can see from the word hut that he's already focused here. It's like he's not even paying no attention to the middle of the field. Remember, we used to see Ben do this all the time. He knew where he wanted to go, but he was able to decipher just like that. AB ain't open. Let me come back now. Y'all know Ben had times when he was forced into the AB. We know that, but I'm just talking about prime Ben. There were many times where Ben was going to scan. If it won't there, he's doing classic Ben. He's looking around. And he'll see somebody remember the Cowboys game years ago, and he dancing, spinning out of this, spinning out of that, and he finds Heath Miller there. That's what I'm saying. It's like Kenny, trust me, man, if you watch the film, you would see it. There is times where I'm like, oh, God, he's open. You ain't even look over there. They had George Pickens a few times in this game. Never looked over there. And again, I know sometimes plays are called for certain players, obviously, but again, you see the really good quarterbacks able to, it's like this. Hut. Let me do that again. Okay, Hut. Y'all see how quick that was? The good quarterbacks, first read, second, third. Boom. And they do it within like a 2-second span. He's got to be able to get there. If he's going to be successful, he's got to be able to do that. It's just that simple. My bad, man. I went on a tirade there. I've only left you guys a few minutes for phone calls. My bad, man. But let's do it. Yeah, man. Big Ben pump fake was second to none. We have a lot of phone calls, so I'm going to ask you guys, man. I mean, literally, in and out. And if not, I won't be able to get to them all. I'm going to answer 470 first. 470 hasn't been waiting as long, but I want to know, how are you guys doing that? Every now and then, one of you guys, there's a way for you to have your hand raised. It's like a little hand that's raised. I don't know how y'all do that. So I'm going to give that person precedent and answer that phone call first. So first up in the queue, man, area code 470. What you got for us?
Hi, I'm Susie, and so I was just wondering, because now we know that Broderick Jones has started at right tackle, so do you think Okafor or Moore would be starting tackle for left, but do you think we'll eventually move Broderick Jones over to left because that's what he played?
Oh man, good question. But first, before I answer, round of applause to Susie. Man, Susie, thank you for calling. Thank you for calling. And see, leave it to the ladies to figure out how to do something that y'all can't do. She got that hand raised. I don't know how she did it. Shout out to Susie, man. I love when the ladies call because, again, I really love the fact that y'all tune in, for one, because, again, we all know this is I'm using the quote fingers, male-dominated sport and all that. So I love when the ladies come in, they know what they're talking about, and you're not afraid to speak. Beautiful. Thank you, Susie, for calling. Good question. The reason why I say good question is because I think the answer is going to lie in how well Dan Moore continues to play. And I say that with a sort of a question as well. Is he going to continue to play well? Some of you may not think he's playing well now, but I think it is going to be what's going to determine where Broderick Jones ends up is how well Dan Moore does. If Dan Moore has a solid rest of the season, then I think we're looking at our left and right tackle combination for next year. Because people got to remember, Dan Moore is also on a rookie contract. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is his third season. Did he come in? He came in with Najee, I think. Or is this his fourth? I can't remember. Kendrick Green came in with Najee. So this might be Dan's fourth season. Now, if this is Dan's fourth season, that definitely draws a good question. But yeah, I think it all depends on what happens with Dan Moore. I think if somehow Dan Moore is no longer with the Steelers, I think Okorafor is in the doghouse right now. And I think if they move on and they draft another tackle or such, or free agency, you might see Broderick flip over to the left side. But I think right now we're going to see him at right tackle until the point happens in where we have to put him at left. But I think if they keep Dan Moore, we're going to see Broderick at right tackle, because right now it's working. It is working. That kid, man, Broderick Jones is showing out in just 2 starts. So we'll see how he continues to play. But again, thanks, Susie, and sorry for being so long-winded on my reply. Next up, area code 973. What you got for us?
Yeah, good evening. What's going on, son?
Good. Nothing much, man. What's going on?
Ain't nothing. Well, Dan Moore, I was thinking about Dan Moore. Remember, everybody was killing Dan Moore? But, see, I've been a Steelers fan all my life. I watch every Super Bowl the Steelers ever played in. I'm 57 years old. What I'm trying to say to you, everybody was killing him, but
yeah.
I'm the type that go by progress. Dan Moore did one good job. He did a hell of a job against Myles Garrett. Yeah. I seen potential.
He did.
So he has potential. Now, let's go to Kenny Pickett. We've seen Kenny Pickett do this in the last end of the season when we was 2-6 and he went 6-2. So I see potential with Kenny. I see fundamentals, mechanics, little issues. But see, I that goes to coaching to me, like quarterback coaching. It can be fixed. So I'm not gonna give up on Kenny. You know, but this like the Steelers, the Steelers are we in a good position, but I think Kenny. I'm not saying he's a franchise, but he can get it done. We seen it. So if you see anybody that got potential, you can't. How can you give up on the guy? I just think it's more coach than anything. And Matt Canada doesn't help and put him in a better position where he needs to be put at to help. You see, like I'm gonna give you a prime example. Buffalo fired their offensive coordinator, and they got Josh Allen.
Yeah. Sure
you know
did.
what I'm saying? So that just go to show you can, like, come on, you got to put your quarterback in the position that stuff that he likes to do, where he feel comfortable in. So I just think it's more coaching with Kenny and Matt, and I'm happy he is coming back. But when he was playing, how many passes did we throw to the tight end? We don't never go to the tight end.
Good point.
That's just my thought, man. Have a good night.
Man, thanks for that call. I'm actually going to give you a round of applause for one key thing that you said there. Round of applause to 973. Listen, what 973 said that I wholeheartedly agree with, I mean, I agree with most of everything he said, especially the Pratt Fry move thing. He basically echoed what I said earlier, and I have said a couple weeks in a row. We've seen this dude play better. Now, again, some of y'all have never been in favor of Kenny, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. I'm just speaking on behalf of guys like myself and 973 and others who feel this way. I do believe there is potential there. Is he ever going to be a Hall of Famer? Probably not. At least he ain't showing me that today. Is he going to be a 10-year starter? I don't know. But I do know that he can play better than he's playing. Because I've seen it from him in year 1 and 2. That's why it's baffling to me. That's why I legitimately ask, is it all him or is it part of the play? I don't know. Because some of this stuff, I'm like, Kenny. Now, the accuracy issues that he shows from time to time, that's him. But I'm talking about some of the other stuff. But like he said, listen, I can't throw him in the trash yet, man, because again, we done gave a lot of these other quarterbacks plenty of time. And the only reason why this one is more highlighted, I'm going to be really honest with y'all, SteelerNation. This one is more highlighted for a couple reasons. He's a number 1 draft pick. Okay, first round draft pick. Number 2, he is the guy taking over from Ben Roethlisberger. That's why it's more illuminated. Because the Steelers have gave other guys on the staff numerous chances. Even anybody, all the way down to Josh Dobbs. Shout outs to Dobbs. Dobbs is good job, man, keeping your career going and you're winning ball games. Landry Jones, Mason Rudolph, all these people. Right? It's the same thing. So I don't know what make y'all think Kenny gonna get thrown in the we talk about dudes that won't even drafted in the first round. Backups. Just saying, man. I just hope the kid gets better. I'm just leaving it at that. I just hope he gets better. That's it. I'm still gonna hang in there, give him a chance, man. Because what other choice do I have? Area code 951. What you got for us?
Hey, what's up, Sim? Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I'll make it quick. Man, regarding the defense, man, what was going on with the secondary against Green Bay, man?
Oh.
Some third and longs. Do good on first and second. Third and long, could be 3rd and 18. We giving up a first down. And the dude looked like he's wide open. Just a quick question about that. Do you think that's just more of a reality that, DeMonte Casey, Neal, and Peterson just can't keep up with these young dudes out there? Because if that's the case, they should be giving Darius Rush a hat just to get some youth out there. And the second part is, or is that just more of a scheme thing? is Sherrill Austin not really calling the proper plays on 3rd and long because there's obviously a glaring hole there. That's all I got.
Man, thanks for the call. You know what? Sometimes, guys, I have things I want to talk about, and I know some of y'all are going to ask the question, so I don't really put it on the docket. This is just watching the first quarter. This is a tough one, right? Because anybody who watches football that know a little bit, there's times that you find holes in the zone. There's times that you beat guys in man, right? So there's no safe play to call every time. However, where it gets tricky is how do you play the zone? That big 3rd down conversion deep down the middle of the field on the Packers' first drive. We were in straight up spot drop coverage. Like the linebackers don't do no type of feeling for the receiver. None. Like whoever is playing in that hook zone area, mid-read type, when we in our drop coverage, they never even listen. I've seen teams play coverage like this, even in college, where it's more like a feel out. You get to your depth, you keep your eye on the quarterback, but you also looking to see where your threats are. Some teams play match coverage in zone, right? Pattern matching. We don't do that. At least we don't do it consistently, because what you see consistently is the linebackers is all just doing this. It's almost like that drill, all of y'all who play football, is that when the coach be like, it's almost like they ain't playing the drill. They ain't looking behind them. They not looking to the side. Dog, I'm telling you, it's so exposed when you see it on the 22. I'm like, do y'all not see this dude? It's almost like they just assume, okay, I'm going to let him run through the zone and 23 got him. Or if Minka's out there, Minka got, like, nobody adjusts their depth. And I'm like, that's a problem. And that's coached, I assume. That is the play call from Austin. Or that is how it's being taught when we're in spot drop. Like, it's like nobody is, they're simply just reading the quarterback. And some people are going to say, well, that's what you do in zone. Yes, but those people, y'all want me to give you a perfect example? Let me get up. So, you know, when I have a good point to make, I like to get up right up in your ear and say it. Did y'all see how TJ Watt played that zone when he picked off Matt Stafford? Did y'all see that? Do you know what TJ did? TJ got to his depth, checked and saw who was coming, then read the eyes, jumped it. The best pass rusher was doing this, head on a swivel, and once I diagnosed what was coming his way, he used a combination of receiver there, come in here, read eyes, pick off, go the other way. Them inside linebackers, number 31, they ain't doing that. They just let people get, it's bad. And my God, let's not talk about the touchdown to Romeo Doubs. Folks, we were in cover 2 man. That's man coverage, 2 safeties over the top. In the red zone. In this case, in the end zone. Because you're basically covering the end zone when you are in the end zone lined up, that's what you're covering. There ain't but so much depth you got to get. Anybody who's anybody should know if you're one of those safeties protecting deep, which ain't that far because the end zones, you're in the end zone. Your job is to read whoever is coming your way. You're covering that half. His half, my half. even when I lined up at strong safety, I knew that I am to play deep half. Whoever my closest threat is, I have to make a decision and commit. Sometimes you might not make the right play. But what you don't do is what number 23 did in that situation. As he just continues to back up, number 29 slips. Dobbs runs a corner route. And 23 just stands there and then tries to catch up. In the end zone, people, he was the only person in his view for the most part. This is the only threat. Cheat over there and help. Y'all gonna see it? Extended family gonna see it. I'm gonna show that play. Like, why are you so slow to react? And I'm here to tell y'all, folks, every safety don't make every play. Every corner doesn't make every play. But there's such, just like 23 got the interception at the end of the game, he should have been able to play that just as easy because he only had one route in front of him with 29 playing underneath. You got to be able to read that better. It ain't so many areas that the receiver's going to go. He's either coming inside or outside. So you hang right there, watch the body, and as soon as you see him start to go one direction, you got to commit. Now, if it's a double move, he got you. That happens. But you don't just stand there. I used to talk about that in Madden all the time, talking to the developers saying, man, why y'all be having these dudes flat-footed in coverage? That don't happen in real life. Thank you, number 23, for making me out to be a liar. Man, wait till I show y'all that, man. My bad, y'all. I went off on a tangent there, but it's some of this stuff. It balls me up because I'm like, these dudes should be playing better than that. Even if they don't make the play, let me just see the process. And that spot drop zone, Lord have mercy, guys. Coach Alston, hey, Coach T. How many times are people throwing the balls behind the linebackers against us? And like I said, maybe Coach T and Coach Austin is calling the play, but these dudes ain't executing. I mean, when you look at the film, they not even looking at the guys behind them. They're only getting to their spot and they just stay forward. They not looking to see where work is at all. Just reading eyes. It's bad. It's bad. Oh, my bad, man. I got time for two more, man. That's all I got is two more. Sorry if I didn't get to you tonight. Two more. Area code 443. What you got?
Yo, what's good? So I'm going to try to make this quick as possible, man, so the next caller can get on. But you ain't got to say my bad, man. This your show. Go ahead and do your thing, man. Hey, real quick, you hit on Mike Canada not throwing the ball across the middle. I was going to mention that. You did, so that's cool because he never looks there. I got a joke with this, but it's kind of a little seriousness in it. The reason why we probably was running good is because the team we was playing didn't expect us to do what we did, meaning Mike Canada ran plays that no team ever seen in the 3 years that he been there. How about that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it shouldn't be hard for Matt Canada to game plan or scheme against teams because he got plays that he never ran in the 3 years that he been there. So it should be real easy for him to trick people. Last thing is about the defense. It's a little bit of both with the safeties and maybe the scheme. I'll say it's more of the safeties, and the reason why I say that is pretty much what you said. It's all about the eye test. You're taught from little league to high school to college that if you're in a zone, you play your zone, but if you got men running by you and you know that's the only person that went past you, then you follow that person. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, man.
And that's what the Steelers didn't do. They looking at dudes run past them and let them run past them. Oh, and real quick, as far as the QB, he can't see the field, man. He can't see the field. And that's pretty much what it is. There's a lot of other things, but his main thing right now is he can't see the field. Appreciate you taking my call, man.
Man, appreciate you calling. Wonderful points right there. I mean, I don't even have much to say behind that. He ain't seeing that field. And like you said, the safety, I just don't get it, man. You know, like he said, we've been taught that. Those of us who played the game, you've been taught that since little league. You know, at least in certain parts of the country. You know, little league, they start teaching you fundamentals. Some little leagues, they just want to let them have fun, and I hate that. I hate that. Been going through that with my little man, you know, playing basketball. At least this year, the coach they got, I'm like, man, teach them fundamental. Some of these kids gonna play for real. Forget all that participation stuff. Teach them the game. But anyway, let me get back to the point. You are taught at a very, very young age, at least middle school. This is the responsibility when you're running zone. Get to your drop area, look for work. If you don't see work, try to go help where you can, like drift a little more, what have you, especially safeties. Who is the closest threat? I don't know, man. It's frustrating to watch. I know that. All right, man. Last one of the night. Area code 313. What you got for us?
Hey, Sim, this is your boy from Detroit. I was just calling in, just saying to you once again about the quarterbacking. Yes, I agree with what you're saying. Give him a chance to grow. But you need to put a safe field plan behind him. If we come into the draft next year, and if Kenny do not improve for the rest of the season, it will be smart to take a person that can sit behind Kenny while he do go through his third year, and you have a player that if he fails, you got somebody already there waiting, and you don't have to wait till 2025 to get a player and hope you get one. Because this upcoming draft, we got a potential 8 good guys that can see the field. And here's the other thing I'm learning from Kenny. If you hit Kenny get happy feet, and he want to get rid of the ball quickly. And if he gets near interception, then he start choking and killing the ball. This is what's starting to happen. That's why you ain't seeing that growth. It's just like Jalen Warren. What the first thing Tomlin said when Jalen Warren came onto the in the throw, you got to be able to stand in the face of that fan. Mm-hmm. Since Kenny got banged up a couple of times since he played, he's starting to develop happy feet, and then he's in other words, you didn't start playing nervous, son. And Matt Canada and them is not helping him to where he got to grow and say, look, man, this is the NFL. You will be touched. If you want to win, sometime, not what made Ben great. That's what I loved about him. He was standing there and take the fire. You remember when he played Baltimore, got his lip split in half?
Oh, man.
Ben came back, and it didn't even faze him. He went back out there. But this is what you do playing AFC North football. That's the only thing I want to say about Kenny Pickett. Just get a safe plan behind him if he's just not that guy. Because if you really look at it, we got everything in place, but a couple of pieces you can get in the second and third round. You still can take a quarterback in the second round that could turn out to be a blessing. That's all I got to say. Go ahead. And everybody SteelerNation, have a blessed one.
Man, thank you for that call. And you know what I'm going to do? Some of y'all might not believe this, but I'm going to agree with Area 313 in this regard. Y'all have been hearing me say consistently, oh, the Steelers is riding with Kenny Pickett through 2024 at least. However, what makes what 313 more plausible is, of course, if there's the right guy there, it don't hurt, right? Because he pushes Kenny. If he ends up being better, it is what it is. Hey, it could be trade bait. Also, let's keep this in mind. The 2 quarterbacks that are on the roster right now behind Kenny, contracts expire this season. So they got to do something anyway. So that makes it even more interesting. They got to do something anyway. You either going to re-sign Mitchell or Rudolph. So that makes it way more interesting. But I just don't know if the Steelers are thinking like that. You know, that's the only hang up. I don't know if the Steelers are thinking like that. Somebody said Mitch re-signed. He did? Oh, I must have missed it. I didn't know he re-signed. I thought Mitch was under a 2-year deal. Did they extend him? Maybe they did. Steeler card says he ain't going nowhere. He think he is. Yeah, I don't know if he re-signed or not. I see some of you guys are saying it. Okay, yeah, he's saying he got an extension. Well, okay, well there's still one quarterback short. I don't think you re-signed Rudolph. Somebody said yes, only this year. Well, wait, but isn't this is Mitch's second year though, right? So he either got an extension or y'all saying we've had him for 2 years. We signed him last season and drafted Kenny. And I thought Mitch had a 2-year deal. So if he did extend and y'all are saying he extended, extended through 2026. Good Lord. Okay. Well, there you go. He'll still be there. So again, my bad. I didn't know that part. So, all right. Well, we still a quarterback short. And the Steelers like to come to camp with 4. So I'm not opposed to that idea, man. Again, let's put the if on it. Let's put it in its proper context. If Kenny Pickett continues to show these struggles, I am not opposed to the Steelers testing the waters with another QB next season. Not at all. In next year's draft. Not at all. Because in all fairness, some of you guys even said Kenny wasn't pushed. So that would suffice you guys' opinion as well. So that's where I fall with that one. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got, man. I appreciate everybody who called. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all the calls. I'm gonna have to try to find a way, man, to get to calls quick and early to give y'all more time. So maybe I'll start setting myself a time limit of only 20 minutes or less to give my follow-up ports on Tuesday. And maybe Tuesdays will just be all about calls, especially when we get the amount of calls that we had in the queue tonight. That's what I really want to do, is hear from you guys. I'll spend a few minutes in the chat, man, just a few. World Traveler says they overpaid Mitch. He's a terrible backup. Yeah, I get it, man. I get what all of you guys are saying. But again, just look around the league, man, and just look at depth and things of that nature. I'm going to be honest. I used to think like a lot of you guys, and I would be upset when we didn't have certain level of talent in certain positions. But again, when you look around the league, it just doesn't exist. Everybody is not fortunate to have excellent backups. It just doesn't exist. You know what I mean? I mean, some teams are fortunate to have a guy here, a guy there. But I will say this, guys, and again, I'm just trying to be a realist. I think sometimes as fans, we get ahead of ourselves and we start expecting too much, especially when you're looking for the guys outside of the top 22. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to be open and honest there. Why Diggy says, Sim, what are your thoughts on Minka getting in Terrell Austin's ear on that last play? Love it. I love it. I love it. I wish we knew what was said right there, but it definitely looked like Minka had some say and they were all discussing what should happen. I love it. Gavin Carr says Mason is better. Mason is better than who? Mitch or Kenny or both? I'm curious to know you guys' thoughts. But I think we have short-term memory a little bit when it comes to Mason. Because I remember, I don't forget nothing. I recall a time when y'all was on my head when I was saying Mason Rudolph wasn't as bad as some of y'all was saying. And y'all was on me. Y'all was on me for that. And I'm like, wow. Now all of a sudden, Kenny don't play well. Mitch ain't playing well. And now everybody is either praising Mason Rudolph or Josh Dobbs. Hilarious. Look, Gavin just said it. We should have kept Dobbs. All right, man. I mean, I'm just saying, guys, recency bias is a real thing. We didn't get, but here's the question. When was Dobbs going to get the chance? Let's not forget, Dobbs was still around when Ben was on the team. So, I don't know. I'm just saying, it's easy to make these hindsight 2020 comments, man. I'm just saying. Yeah, some of y'all are speaking some facts about Rudolph. Yeah, man, Rudolph. Shoot, you talking about staring down your target? That's a problem all of them seem to have here lately. Rudolph do the same thing. Yeah, Steeler Card says Dobbs was traded prior to Ben. That's what I'm saying. So I understand it's easy for people to say we should have gave Dobbs a chance, but the chance that y'all are talking about now was long gone. Dobbs was gone. And Ben Roethlisberger was that's what they really didn't even care who the backup was, if you're being honest. So Dobbs was never going to get a chance with the Steelers. Like, you got to put it in its proper perspective, folks. He never was going to get a chance like that. The chance was never there for him. And we did get a third for Dobbs. Fly High says, we saw Mason for a whole season. He ain't better than nobody. Nobody wanted Rudolph and all. I'm just listen, guys. Listen. I hate to be speaking what I deem as facts. I don't know for sure. It's speculatory facts, but I hate to be right in these kind of scenarios when I say it just is what it is. Like, we can say if all we want, but when it comes to the quarterback, the truth of the matter is the Steelers never had their Jordan Love. Not even that. They never had their Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers moment. Never had that. And I might even say Jordan Love now after, putting some respect on his name after seeing him play. Steelers never did that when Ben Roethlisberger was there. That is your answer. One time that they thought they was doing that, they drafted Mason Rudolph. They also drafted his partner in crime in the second round, and James Washington. And we all were thinking, wow, we might have something if Ben decided to hang it up in a year or two. Ben went off. He pitched a fit and did his passive aggressive stuff. And I love Ben, but he did his passive aggressive. Oh, I just thought we could have, got a better, we could. How does that help us now? He did his normal Ben Roethlisberger media thing. He won't having it. Mason Rudolph has told us several times now that their relationship was nothing. So they decided not to do that again. And that's what we were left with. That is the truth. They never committed to a Aaron Rodgers to a Brett Favre situation. They never committed to seeing that Ben Roethlisberger is aging. Let's go ahead and get a quarterback now. Because just think about all the quarterbacks that have been there in Ben's last 10 seasons or so. They never did it. So I'm thinking right around 2018-ish, when Ben Roethlisberger is starting to get close to that, he's 15, 16 year mark, whatever. Now I'm going to look for the future. It's a gamble you got to take. If Ben keeps playing, he keeps playing. And maybe we figure out what we're going to do with this kid that's sitting down. But that is the real problem. And unfortunately, the worst case scenario happened, folks. Like it or not, Steelers had to draft a quarterback last season. They had to. Because had they not, let me paint a picture for y'all. They don't draft a quarterback last season. Right? Mitch Trubisky is still the starter. Mitch Trubisky continues to play the way he started playing last season. Y'all would have lost y'all's mind. Y'all would have been cussing this organization out forever. They're so stupid. Why didn't they draft Kenny? Why didn't they draft Willis? Why didn't they draft Ritter? Or whoever. Y'all would have lost your mind. They were in a no-win situation because they did it to themselves. The organization that we love did it to themselves. And because of that, we are being overly critical of Kenny Pickett. Yeah, I said it. We are. Because we are expected to be better right now. And maybe, Kenny might be one of those quarterbacks that it takes them 3 years to get it. Have we not seen that in the NFL? I'm just being honest, man. I'm going to spend these last couple minutes here and be honest with us. I'm not saying the criticism ain't warranted, but what I'm saying is he's getting overly beat down and overly criticized. Because they had to draft a quarterback, they drafted the guy that they thought was the most ready. Right? And he's just not playing up to our lofty standards. That's what it is. The organization did that to us. They did that to us, man. And how is that, and I even have to laugh at myself for this one, but this is the proof that you never know. How's that Malik Willis situation panning out? Many people right here in this chat said the Steelers was absolutely stupid for not drafting Malik Willis. Myself, Kenyon, Destiny, Debbie, we were all surprised that Kenny Pickett was the pick. Now, I will say, if I remember correctly, Debbie wasn't, she was kind of like, I don't know if we should draft a quarterback this year. I respected her opinion. I was more so, I think Willis had more upside. But then remember that night? After I thought about it, I said, you know what? Maybe Kenny is the most ready out of this class. We all agreed it wasn't a great class. But like I said, they put themselves in a situation where they had to draft him. So if you want to blame somebody, blame the brass at the Steeler organization. That's how it goes. That's how the cookie crumbled, folks, unfortunately. But yeah, man, my man Mark Cunningham says, oh, don't even mention Stroud, Steelers freak. I was there live when he carried us up. Looks like the real deal. Yeah, and listen, you got to give, man, that boy playing. Could he potentially be the guy that breaks the Ohio State curse? Hey, Kenyon, do we finally gonna get one? I know we listen. You can't be too high early. Let's let him play a little while longer to really call it. But is he gonna be the one? Because it don't look like Justin Fields has done it yet so far either. But it looked like that boy CJ is a ball out there. I like it. He's playing very, very well, man. And again, guys, listen. I don't want to hear it. I know somebody's going to say, see, that's why we shouldn't have drafted a quarterback. We should have waited till this year's draft, and we should have drafted CJ Stroud. Because that's what y'all think. Y'all think it's that simple. Y'all think the Steelers don't draft the quarterback last year, and somehow magically they're just going to be in position to draft C.J. Stroud. It don't work like that. Funny thing is, look, even the Panthers seemingly, because I don't know. Let me tell y'all how my mind works. I don't know where Bryce Young going to be. So I'm not ready to say the Panthers drafted the wrong guy. I don't do that. People that do that remind me of the same people who listen to an album and they saying, man, that joint is classic. First listen. Oh, man, that joint trash. Now, I will say, there are some albums that you know off of first listen. Ooh, this sound like a classic. But even with those, you got to live with them. You got to live with them. You got to consume it. See, my boy Kenya know what I'm talking about because we music dudes. But everybody got these microwave opinions. People already saying it. Panthers got it wrong. Y'all don't know what this boy gonna be. Just because C.J. Stroud is balling, it don't mean... Popcorn mentality. It's that popcorn mentality. Maybe so, maybe not. But again, Bryce Young was balling in college. Doesn't always translate. Is it coaching in Carolina? It's so many different factors. But that's what they saying, man. That's what they saying. Already, because Stroud is... You know, again, and some of y'all only saying that because the TV pundits are telling y'all that. Y'all ain't really even seen the boy play. Because you know what? A lot of people, remember what I said Sunday. Now y'all don't feel so bad about us losing to Houston, huh? Even though we got obliterated. But I'm just saying, maybe the kid is good. I remember what y'all was saying. Hey, how we going to let this rookie quarterback... Well... That rookie quarterback looked like he don't care about nothing about being a rookie. So it won't just us. He's doing that to quite a few teams. But all right, man, I'm done. Yeah, exactly. Still a freak. It ain't like Bryce Young is playing horrible either. You know, from the games that I saw. You know, but yeah, I had a little fun tonight, man. But now I got to go get myself ready for tomorrow, my last commute day of the week. But hang in there, Steeler fans. Listen, we 6-3, and oh yeah, you want to watch my before play show coming up this week. Because let me just give you a preview and say this. I don't feel good at all about this game, bro. I'm just gonna let y'all know that. Not at all. I ain't gonna get into it because I don't want to give away my thunder. Bruh. Yeah, all right. People talk about, man, they probably gonna go split in Ohio. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. You talk about one-dimensional. Against that Cleveland defense. Oh, what people gonna say? Oh, yeah, but we beat them in week 2. Oh God. No, don't make me laugh myself to death. Bruh, you talk about one-dimensional. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, they've been watching. Oh, the Steelers rushed for 166 yards against the Titans. Oh, they rushed for over 200 yards again. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you think Cleveland don't see that? You think Cleveland ain't gonna be in our face like they are every time they play us? Because they dare us to do something different. Oh, Steeler fans. I love y'all. I do, man. But listen, I hope to be wrong. But just stay tuned. I'll get into it on the show. Don't know which night is going to be. And I promise y'all, I'm going to get my schedule together. My wife has been telling me that too. Give y'all a definitive schedule so you know exactly when each video is popping. Friday or Saturday. Maybe I'll shoot for Friday evening. Friday night.
90 seconds.
Ain't nobody ask you, Blog Talk. But all right, man, let me get out of here. So again, guys, if you haven't already, man, if you like the video, let me cut Blog Talk off because I don't need her screaming in our ear again. And I don't understand how y'all got me to give the length of show that I gave tonight. I said I was going to be quick. Y'all should smile every time I say that because every time I say that, I'm never fast. Ain't that funny? But if you like what you saw here tonight, if you liked the video, if you enjoyed it, if I entertained you, if you had fun, show it to me by hitting that like button. That's all I need you to do. But if you really like the content, subscribe. And if you want to know when videos are coming available or live stream, click that notification bell. That's all I need y'all to do. 3 simple things. And thank you for the donation, man. I got a donation earlier. Thank you for that. I can't remember who it was. But I did see the donation, man. My bad. I didn't give you your love on the show. My bad. I missed it. But that's all I got, man. I'll see you guys soon. Like I said, look out for that before play video. Maybe I'll stream it. We'll see. It's either going to be a stream or a pre-recorded video. But outside of that, y'all know what to do, man. Please stay safe out there. Please do your best to stay healthy. God bless. Good night. And like always, thank you for tuning in to Terrible Towel Tuesday. I shall catch you in the next one. Peace.